Welcome back to the channel, guys, and in today's video we are going to feature a very strong core in the Open Ultra League consisting of Walrein and Trevenant. So both of these Pokemon complement each other very well, both in the Ultra League and the Open Great League as well. So no doubt that these two becomes a very strong pair whenever it is used basically. And the Pokemon that I paired it with was Talonflame, and I was running Talonflame in the lead. However, there is one sort of drawback with this team is a Scrafty in the backline, but we didn't really face a lot of problems with the backline because we were getting really hard countered in the lead itself. Like we got all sort of leads like Giratinas, Tapu, Fini, Swamperts, you name basically any hard lead to Talonflame besides Regirock. I think we got every one of them in probably the two sets that I played. So I went positive with it. I would like to say it as a positive because one of the games, like my move didn't fire off even though I had the charge move ready. That would have definitely got me the win. And one of the set went 2-3, other one went 3-2. So I think I would have gotten positive overall, which you'll see in the battles in a short while happening. And yeah, without further delays, before we start with the battles, if you're new to the channel and if you like our content, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you want to join the battles Discord server, make sure to check out the link in the description down below. On top of that, we are hosting another tournament on the server, which is in the Nuzlocke format, and it will be played in Pokemon Go. A Pokemon Go Nuzlocke format, I think, has been played a while back, and I'm not sure if it's being played as of now in any of the servers. But I personally haven't really seen this format a lot, so it's a new format for me, and I'm very excited to host one. So make sure to check out the Discord channel if you want to participate. And finally, let's start with the battles and see how the battle goes. So starting with game number 1, and this time we are picking up a Jellicent Lead, so a negative lead for Talonflame, and I make a swap to Walrein, which also is not a very good counter to Jellicent, but yeah, there was basically no way out for me. So in comes Machamp, which is a very hard, probably one of the hardest counter to Walrein. But Walrein can threaten some shields of this Machamp because it really just spams those icicle spears really quickly. So I have a shield advantage at this point, but it will be uphill battle for me, to be honest, because I'm expecting them to have another Trevenant counter in the back. So we go for this Flame Charge because they baited me for the first time and they might have gotten to another charge move. And yeah, Jellicent will come in and you see me furiously tapping on the Trevenant. And Jellicent is come in and it will be able to throw the move. Hopefully it's just a Bubble Beam, but it ends up being a Bubbly Beam. So we are just back to our normal attack. So we go for this Brave Bird to see if they decide to shield or not. My opponent does not decide to shield and they have a Charmtails in the back. So this is not really ideal for me, but Trevenant can, in some situation, Trevenant can win this. I tried to time my move so that the opponent does not get an extra charm, and they were able to shield the Shadow Ball as well. So at this stage, the game is basically wrapped up for me. There is nothing much that I can do. So they go for the Weather Ball. I just hope that I get to the Shadow Ball as soon as possible, and I just did you can say I did some mistake that I didn't really throw early, but that really would not have made any difference because the Ninetale survived anyhow. So we were not able to fire off that Seed Bomb, unfortunately, which might have got us the win, but yeah, it is what it is. So picking up another negative lead, and we go straight away into our Walrein, and the opponent matches our Walrein to by their own Walrein. So we can definitely win this matchup since we had some energy advantage of the opposing Walrein, and the opponent shields this move correctly. In the Great League, I normally tend to bait because the Earthquake does more damage, but in the Ultra League, I'm not so confident on doing the baits. Hence I go straight Earthquake in this case. So yeah, let's see what my opponent decides to do. So it will be crucial for me to judge whether it's a bait or not. So they go for an Earthquake, which is really nice for me because I'll be able to outpace them. I don't want to risk any getting hit with an Icicle Spear, so I go for this Earthquake, and they shield this charge move, which is really huge for me because if they don't end up beating me, I think I will be able to flip the switch advantage here. Yeah, will be able to flip the switch. So they go for the Earthquake straight away, and now I'll just come in with my Talonflame and look to farm this thing all the way down. And since the opposing Swampert is a shadow one, I think they'll get very very low once I throw the Brave Bird on them, and they are not a move. They are not at a move. So that plays out to my advantage for a bit, and my opponent makes a swap. And as you can see, I tried to catch it, but I was in the middle of an Incinerate animation. That's why I was not able to. Fortunately, that didn't really trigger off my move as well. So in theory, I got a refund, which is pretty handy for me because I have a full health Trevenant, not a full health Trevenant because I'll be taking this charge move. Hopefully, it's just a Hydro Cannon. So, but still, it will do a decent amount of damage. As you can see, my Trevenant is not an XL one, so it's taking slightly more damage. Than the normal XL would do. So in comes Talonflame, and here I need to time my charge move very accurately, because otherwise they'll be able to I'll not, as you can see that I would not have been able to got into a seed bomb, and they might have not thrown, and I might have ended up losing CMP or whatnot. So I threw this flame charge straight away because even though they were not at a move, I did not want to get risk it because I was very low, and we are able to farm them down with the Incinerate. So yeah, very well played from my opponent. GG's. Now to the next one, picking up the third consecutive negative lead, and at this stage I was really furious, and as you can see, I immediately get countered with a counter user. So not particularly a very good situation. Obstagoon is really very bad for this team. Both Obstagoon and Crafty basically are really bad. So we go for this Icicle Spears. At this stage, I think all I can do is spam those Icicle Spears and potentially threaten a shield here of my opponent, because I think I would be able to get to two Icicle Spears regardless. So let's see, they do not shield this one, but if they want to retain the switch, they would have to shield this charge move, and it would be very nice if I get the switch advantage here, which I definitely not. My opponent will be able to farm me down, and I'll just come in with Talonflame and look to farm them down to get some extra energy. So it will depend on whether I get to a Brave Bird or not. So I think I'll definitely be able to get a Brave Bird. But yeah, it's still difficult for me. I'm not sure what would be there in the bag, but I'm definitely expecting a Steel type here. So they shield the Brave Bird correctly, which is good, and they are not swapping out, which is good for me. They do now, as predicted, it's a Steel type. So I'll be farming some extra energy here and go for this Shadow Ball. And I think I remember this game. I particularly seem to be misplaying this like very very badly. So we go for this. They go for this Rock Slide, and what I should have done is I should have throw the move here immediately, because now this Rock Slide will put me very low, and I am in the range for potentially to get Water Gun down. So that's not particularly good for me. I go for the Seed Bomb here. As you can see, taking that Rock Slide damage was really bad for me. Otherwise, I definitely would be at least in a better position as compared to now what I am. So even though, as you can see, I was really hard counter in the, like I lost the lead and the switch. Even then I was able to flip this back. It was my misplay that really costed me the game, because as you can see, I would have gotten to a Shadow Ball there, and the damage of Shadow Ball versus Sheet Bomb, I think Shadow Ball does more damage. So picking up yet another negative lead, and we are met with Registeel. So in theory, Walrein can win this matchup, because not now, because the Registeel, since the Registeel has shielded, we will get Zap Cannon and basically will do less damage with the Earthquake. Registeel will need to land another move though, so we can if we land this Earthquake, I think we can either let go of Walrein or threaten another shield of Registeel by throwing an Earthquake of our own. But at this stage, I think my strategy has become very evident, that I just look to farm down whatever Pokemon that they have with my Talonflame, and potentially with a shield advantage, which is obviously gone now. But I look to farm as much energy as I can with the Talonflame. Hopefully, I'll be able to farm them down. I was really worried that they'll be able to get to a charge move, so I didn't go for it. I could have done that, but I wasn't really confident that I'll be able to farm them down or not. So we go for this Brave Bird, which doesn't get shielded, and immediately comes in Talonflame. So I can win this matchup if I am able to land the Shadow Ball. So let's see what my opponent decide to do. It's a big bait call for them. So they call this bait, but even as of now, I think I'll be able to get to another Shadow Ball before they get to another Flame Charge. So let's see if I'm able. So I'm able to get to that, but I think now I'm in the Surf range probably. So I'll need to beat them to the next charge move if I want to win, and I am barely not able to do so. And my Talonflame is, I think it's very low. No, I think it's very healthy, but they'll be able to outpace me to a Surf. And Surf at this range, I think might be just enough to KO. It's not enough to KO, but as you can see, I was able to. Yeah, the move didn't fire off apparently. So picking up a neutral, I would say that this is a neutral lead. But it's not too neutral. I mean, the Walrein definitely can flip this in certain shielding scenarios. So since I have a better answer to Walrein in the back, I go for this Brave Bird straight away and look to dip. They did not shield it, which is really good for me because this Walrein is almost gone now. And in comes Snorlax. So this makes me wonder what they have in the back because they are really weak to something like a Scrafty. So let's see what my opponent decides to do here. We go for I'm comfortable letting go of my Walrein at this stage because I will be farming them down with the Talonflame. Luckily for me, they went for they went for a Body Slam and not a Superpower. So they shield this one, and now I'll just start spamming those Icicle Spears here and there. I think the Walrus outpaces them to a Body Slam because Body Slam takes 12 turns, whereas Icicle takes 5. Icicle Spear takes 10 turns, and then 8 turns the following. So let's see. They come in with a Walrein of their own, and I have a shield advantage as well. I do not shield this one. I probably am looking to come in with Walrein maybe. It's going to be tricky based on what they have in the back. Their Walrein is definitely in the Icicle Spear range. I farm a bunch of extra energy and go for this Icicle Spear right before, I think 2 Powder Snows before they get to an Earthquake, which gets shielded, which I was really surprised. And since they were at an Earthquake, so a very good call from my side. Luckily, my Walrein won the CMP there. So again, I farmed a bunch of extra energy since they went for the Earthquake and go for the Icicle Spear, which is enough to KO them. I did a blind swap to catch this Body Slam. I didn't want to. I didn't want to shield my Walrein, and they have a Talonflame in the back. And with a shield advantage, I really cannot lose this one because we will be able to land a Shadow Ball, and then after that, a Seed Bomb will definitely KO. So they can go for the Flame Charge as much as they can, but they are not. They are not taking this game from me now. So ideally, I mean, I was not really hard countered here, but Walrein Lead was pretty tough. But yeah, eventually we came through, and we will be Shadow Claw them down. So yeah, good game. And I think this was the 5th game, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, that was the 5th game. I ended up going 2-3, but it could have been 3-2. Nevertheless, let's move on to the next one. Picking up a negative lead in the form of this Dragonite. The Dragon Press are just chunking away at me. I didn't really throw the move there because I didn't want to debuff myself and then pretty much getting KO'd with a Dragon Claw. So we go for this Brave Bird to see if we get a shield or not. So we get a shield, and I swapped into my Walrein, very well knowing that they'll be having some sort of Walrein counter. I didn't really expect it to be Machamp because their team is sort of really weak to a Charm type. I'm not really sure why they are really running this team. Yeah, I'm in a tough spot here. I probably will look to farm down with Trevenant. Yeah, so Trevenant will come in, and I look to shield once and farm them down and have a Shadow Ball stored for that Dragonite when it comes in. So yeah, we safely shield this Rock Slide correctly, and we are able to have a bunch of energy. Have a Shadow Ball loaded in comes Registeel. So we go for the Shadow Ball straight away, and let's see what they decide to do. So they do not decide to shield, which is very nice for me. And Trevenant is a very good answer to Registeel, especially because it resists the normal type, all the normal moves of Registeel like Zap Cannon and Focus Blast. basically no one is running Flash Cannon anymore. So I shield the Zap Cannon and I immediately make a swap to my Talonflame, and I think I make a slight mistake there. I really should not have shielded that, and on top of that, I really should not have swapped out of that matchup. So not good for me. Picking up a negative lead again and swapping into Walrein, and in comes this Registeel. I have 3 or 4-ish Powder Snows worth of extra energy, and I look to farm. I look to win this matchup probably because I do not want Talonflame to be paired against this that Swampert, especially when Swampert had 3 or 4 much short energy advantage. I do not shield the first charge move as usual. Yeah, I guess it's pretty much evident now. So we go for this Earthquake. Most of the Registeels shield the first charge move because they know that that's going to do the most damage. So maybe in the hindsight you can just shield as well, you can bait as well, but not really sure whether it's worthy. It's a worthy bait or not, because you'll anyway need to land 2 Earthquakes, which you are able to do so regardless. But the second Earthquake will not KO. So the Registeel is quite low as of now, and I can come in with Talonflame and just look to farm them down. Unfortunately, we just got in one Incinerate worth of extra energy. So in comes Talonflame, and as you know from my previous couple of battles that Trevenant can really win this matchup if they manage to land the Shadow Ball, which I am obviously not. So it's going to be an uphill battle. I'm storing my I'm saving my shield for my Talonflame because that's really my win con here. So getting to not sneak, but an extra Incinerate worth of extra energy is good. I could not have really shielded that because the Swampert is loaded on energy. So now that I've saved myself a shield and I have some extra energy left with me, even though the Swampert will be able to throw the Hydro Cannon, this Brave Bird should put it very low. Barely not enough to KO, but since that Incinerate got through, I think, and it's a Shadow, I think that Incinerate damage would be enough to knock out the Swampert, which it is, and we take the win despite getting sort of out-countered. GG's. Move to the next one, picking up again, it's sort of a negative lead because the Incinerates are being resisted and the Flame Charge is resisted as well. So I need to land a Brave Bird to take out this Kommo. So we go for this Flame Charge bait normally, which I don't do. So Flame Charge gets shielded, which is quite nice for me. And since that Incinerate went through, I think I'll be able to reach a Brave Bird. That's the only reason I shielded that. So we go for this Brave Bird straight away. Let's see what my opponent decides to do. Maybe they'll double. They don't double shield. So Walrus will come in. Unfortunately, we are not able to get a charge move. Bringing in Trevenant is very dangerous at this stage, even though the Trevenant is a grass type. So I bring in my Walrein, and my opponent banks a lot of extra energy and swaps out to Cresselia, which is quite nice for me. I'll try to catch Grass Knot there. But that didn't really happen. I think my opponent stopped tapping expecting a catch. So maybe they were expecting something like Scrafty or something. I'm not really sure. So they go for I think that was Future Sight. So we throw the Shadow Ball straight away and hoping that they do not shield, which they do not. This will come in and hoping it's a CMP since my opponent didn't really sneak a move. So they shield this Seed Bomb, which is quite nice for me, and now we will be able to throw this take this Icicle Spear. My opponent did a very nice undercharge since we CMP died, and I am ahead on energy, but I'll need to I think I'll need to call the bait here, even though this will not kill. That's why I didn't really shield. I think the game is in the bag, especially now. Yeah, my opponent really should quit the game. There is no way that they are winning this matchup. So I go for a bit of disrespect because I knew that I won the game. So GG's. We are the next game, yet another Walrein Lead, and not particularly looking good for me. So yeah, as you can see, I was like even this commentating is exhausting. You can just imagine how it must have been like losing, like almost I lost like 11 or 12 leads on the trot. So they go for this Cresselia. and hoping that they do not have Grass Knot, which obviously they do. So farming bunch of extra energy and going for this Icicle Spears. I'm not really sure what's really better in the situation, whether you go straight Icicle or go Earthquake. I think going straight Icicle Spear is sort of energy efficient, and the opponent will go for this Grass Knot. And let's see. We let go of this. We barely survived this one. I really chickened out at the last stage. I wanted to throw the Earthquake, but I feared that I'll not be able to get to the one. Again, I chickened out. Not really sure. To be honest, I'm not really sure what I'm trying to do here. The Cresselia barely survived with 1 HP. This will allow them to get to a charge move. Hopefully, it's just a Moonblast. But yeah, had I gone the Earthquake there, I think I would have been able to flip the switch advantage, and yeah, it's rough now. So yeah, it's going to be rough now. But I think it would have been very difficult either way, because if I killed that Cresselia, my opponent would have come in with Regirock and farm me down with it, and have a bunch of extra energy. And with Regirock in place, I think Talonflame has nowhere to go. I have to keep my Trevenant alive. So, which obviously didn't really happen, and my Talonflame is too low, and I think I'll just get lock on down even if I have a shield, because they have 2 shields in place, and they are far from getting incinerated down. I think I'm definitely losing this one. So not a really good situation, but I think this is probably the best that I could have done here. So yeah, I think it's definitely an ally. I think I should have really cut off the video at this stage, because I'm definitely losing this one. But on a positive note, I was able to bring it very close despite being like sort of getting hard countered. But yeah, and I sort of got this really weird glitch. So Nidoqueen Lead, finally a neutral lead, you can say that, since it's not a shadow one. Here my strategy is to Brave Bird and dip probably. I'll not be going for any sort of overfarm or something. I'll go straight Brave Bird, and let's see what my opponent decides to do. If my opponent decides to shield, I'll be coming in with Walrein. So I come in with Walrein hoping to draw out a fighter, but it's not a fighter, it's a Jellicent, which is probably worse for Walrein, and I don't shield this one, and it ends up being a Bubble Beam bait, which is quite nice for me, but yeah, it's still not as good, because my attack is debuffed, and this Earthquake will do less damage now. And even though I am at a shield advantage, I really feel like that I am at a matchup disadvantage here, to be honest. They go for the Shadow Ball straight away, which is quite nice for me, because my Earthquake will do the same amount of damage as it did the first time. So we go for this Earthquake, which lands. Obviously, I think I might be able to flip the switch. I'm farming, which is obviously not good. Hoping that they go for this Bubble Beam bait, but they end up going for Shadow Ball. Coming in with Trevenant, my opponent gives up the switch advantage, which they very bravely fought for. So they'll go for this Poison Fang. Yeah, it's going to be really tough for me. I think I really should have thrown that Icicle Spear there. I wasn't sure whether that would have KO'd or not. So I saved my Trevenant and take this charge move, and it ends up being a Poison Fang, but I will need to throw a Flame Charge here. But at this stage, it doesn't really make a difference, because Talonflame would have gone down anyway. It would not have reached another charge move on the third Pokemon. It's going to be an uphill battle for sure. My Trevenant will get Bubble Beamed. I think I chickened out here. They were not at a Shadow Ball, so in the hindsight, I should have not shielded that, because they have a Flurges in the back, and if I hadn't shielded that Bubble Beam, I definitely would have been able to win, because I'll be able to put this thing down to very, very low. It's a Fairy type, so Seed Bomb is neutral, but I went for the Shadow Ball because I thought that the Seed Bomb will not KO. And as you can see, I threw this Seed Bomb here on a CMP tie. They barely survived this charge move, which will allow them to throw this move. So if I had not shielded that Bubble Beam, I think I would have surely won the game. So picking up the negative lead, I think that lead is even worse than Giratina Altered. So met with a Scrafty, again, it's just heartbreaking for me. So um, at this stage, I was basically okay. I I accepted that I'm not going to win the lead with this team. So after this, I really played, I think, one more game, and I was like, okay, I'm done with this game. I'm done with the Talonflame lead. I'm not winning anything. But on a positive note, I was able to win a shield advantage. But the scrap is really very boosted. Excuse me, I would want to get rid of this as soon as I can. I'll need to take one foul play though, and hope that I'll be able to farm them down, which it's not really looking good for me. I had to throw the charge move. They would have gotten to a power up punch or even a foul play if I'm not wrong. Um, yeah, not really looking good for me. But on the positive side, this Giratina Origin will come in, and this boosted Brayford will do massive amount of damage. As you can see, it basically almost just one-shotted that Giratina. We are able to farm down with Trevenant, and they have a Registeel in the back, so I think now the game is within our reach, because we will be able to just Shadow Ball down this Registeel. Unfortunately, I make a very dumb play of going for a Seed Bomb due to whatever reason. I'm not really sure why I'm doing that. So luckily enough, Trevenant just is so overpowered against Registeel. It just makes up for all the dumb plays that I make. Going for the bait again, and my opponent is not shielding anything. But at this stage, I was really confident that I'll be able to win the game, even if they decide to shield or not shield. Looks like they were saving the shield for my Talonflame, which in the hindsight it makes sense. But my Talonflame is very healthy, and they'll have to throw two moves in order to knock the Talonflame out. And in my head, I was really clear I am not going to shield my Trevenant. So, yep, good games. Moving to the next game, picking up another bad lead in the form of this Giratina. I swapped into my Walrus, and in comes this Stunfisk. So Stunfisk, it's a neutral matchup, but since in the Ultra League the Walrein and Stunfisk gain some bulk, it becomes positive really. But again, like if they shield this Earthquake, basically it's game over for Walrein. It's time to say goodbye to Walrein. I think I'll not be able to get to a charge move without investing a shield, and at this stage, again, doing the same place over and over again. Luckily enough, I think my opponent did an undercharge there or whatnot. Maybe it's the IVs. I was able to survive that rock slide. We are able to get two shields down of this Stunfisk, which is really good for me and puts me in a very favorable spot here. I'll be able to throw a flame charge here and have enough energy for a Brave Bird. It will all depend on what Pokemon they have in the back. If they're running Giratina's double steel, it's good for me. Otherwise it's going to end up really bad if they have something like Scrafty or maybe I don't know what they can have. So I'm not sure why I did that. Why would you go? Oh yeah, I recognize why I did that, because I knew that a single boosted Brave Bird will not KO, and I'll be able to outpace them to another Brave Bird. So like I'll be able to get to another Brave Bird before I die. So that's the reason I went for it, because yeah, the single boosted Brave Bird would not have KO'd, and as you can see now also I think it will barely KO, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it does barely KO, and they have this scorpion thing in the back. So what better plays I could have made, I am not really sure about that. Maybe, yeah, I'm really not sure. Maybe I could have preserved a Talonflame, but I was hoping that they have a Registeel in the back. They're running Giratina double steel. But yeah, so bad plays from my side. Anyhow, I think that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you really enjoyed watching this one, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Until next time, peace.